good to hear everybody in there. And, Doug, you're doing a fine job of running the net. So this is KN4AW in Valley City, Ohio, 7-3 stall.
73 Frank, Baji, K8IIT, anything more from you?
Not much to add. Just want to mention that we have been running general license classes, and we are going to be having a test at the end of the month. Diane might know the exact date. I apologize that I don't have the date memorized. So anybody that has been thinking about getting up to general, our club is going to be offering the test once the classes are done. With that, I'll say thank you, Doug. Wonderful net. Back to net, K8IIT.
Hey, thanks, Baji. N8RKE was out, so Amy, K2KSU.
K2KSU, just as a reminder, it's getting that time of year. Make sure when you're done boiling those Easter eggs, you color them bright colors or you won't find them in the snow. K2KSU, back to net, 73 doll.
Thanks for the tip, Amy. Okay, we'll take one last standby for check-ins. Anybody want to check in the Monday night net? Call out, K88SSC.
88SSX, recheck.
Yeah, Diane.
Test will be Wednesday, April 30th at 7 p.m. at the Career Center in our normal meeting room. That's it. 88SSX, 73.
Okay, again, anybody else want to check in the Monday night net? Call now, K88SSC. And then we'll turn the net back to normal operation. This is K88SSC. Clear.
W8VPV, repeater TL110.9.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday night evening transmission of Amateur Radio.
This is the M2M Amateur Radio Repeater W.
But for this evening's presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 and Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Following is a KST. Hams respond as a deadly earthquake rocks Thailand and Myanmar. In the U.S., Voice of America gets a reprieve, and a FRAM-2 spacecraft astronaut enjoys a QSO with her former school. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2475 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
We begin this week with a developing story. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck near Mandalay, the second largest city in Myanmar, and rocked the region on February the 28th of March. Hams in Thailand were among those who were called up to help with communications, particularly amid the wreckage in Bangkok. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, has the latest.
As the death toll climbed in a number of countries, emergency communication took on paramount importance. In the South Asian nations hit by the earthquake, its strength was felt in Bangkok, Thailand, affecting that city's high-rise buildings. The search for survivors continued beneath the wreckage of one prominent tower that had been toppled while under construction in the city. Jack Ree Hantongkom, Hotel Sierra 1 Foxtrot Victor Lima, Emergency Communications Director of IARU Region 3, told IARU Region 1's Greg Mossop, Golf Zero Delta Uniform Bravo, that members of the Amateur Society of Thailand have been assisting the government with emergency communications in the city and in the surrounding area, utilising VHF. The death toll in the region itself was climbing well into the thousands as search and rescue efforts continued. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
We also begin this week with another developing story. Its long run of disseminating news to overseas countries under restrictive regimes may not be over after all for the Voice of America. VOA has succeeded in its court challenge to the U.S. government's decision to dismantle the International News Service. Workers at the VOA were among a number of international news services with the U.S. Agency for Global Media, who were told they were being taken off the air and put on administrative leave. Responding to a lawsuit by a group of VOA employees, a Manhattan federal judge acted on March 28th to halt the order that originated from the White House. The U.S. District Court judge called the agency's action a classic case of arbitrary policymaking. Radio Free Asia, another international news organization, is also seeking court action to halt its shutdown. Meanwhile, the news service Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, was spared its own announced shutdown after a different U.S. District Court judge ruled that the continued operation of these news services was in the public interest. Funding has since been restored through the end of the current federal fiscal year. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty has been on the air since the beginning of the Cold War. Even as White House cuts to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration leave the agency's future operations in question, the next generation of amateurs has been training well to keep an eye on dangerous weather for the public. Randy Sly, W4XJ, has that story for us.
This is N0A, November 0 Alpha calling CQ, Special Event Station for Severe Weather Awareness calling CQ.
If you worked N0A during the last half of March, you were talking with a member of the Skywarn YouthNet, which meets weekly to encourage severe weather monitoring by young hams across the United States. As most hams who are active during severe weather are beginning to age out, groups like this can help encourage a new generation of Skywarn supporters. The net was founded in 2016 by Jim Sellers, N0UAM, who is now a silent key, to encourage youth participation in reporting severe weather. Net manager Caleb Sfair, KE0FOE, got his license in 2015 at age 11 and joined the net 2 years later at the encouragement of his father, George, KJ6TQ. Caleb told AR Newsline about the beginning of the Skywarn YouthNet by Sellers.
He was the deputy director of Skywarn in southwest Missouri. Simply put, he just wanted to have a simple check-in net that young hams would run to give them a chance to practice passing traffic and to try to encourage other youths to participate and then share and learn about basic weather information.
The Skywarn YouthNet uses a system of linked repeaters from various parts of the United States, along with All-Star Link, Echolink, DMR, and Yaesu Fusion. Meeting on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, the net gives young hams an opportunity to share weather reports and learn more about participating in severe weather activations. Anyone young or old is invited to check in. For more information, you can visit skywarnyouth.net. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The first spacecraft to orbit the Earth via the North and South Poles, the FRAM-2, has offered some unprecedented views of both poles and some high-flying ham radio transmissions, just as promised. John Williams, VK4JJW, brings us up to date.
Hours after the launch of the private FRAM-2 spacecraft from the U.S. on March 31st, astronaut Robbie Raga began the space team's scheduled transmissions of SSTV imagery, an exercise conducted as part of a high school and university competition for students. It was, however, a voice contact with the DK0TU Amateur Radio Club at the Technical University of Berlin that was among the FRAM-2's earliest QSOs. The brief question and answer session from space took place at the university where the German-born astronaut had once been a student herself. Much of the FRAM-2's ham radio activity was designed to be SSTV transmissions from space, carrying the four astronauts' views of the polar regions. They were transmitted in fragments, puzzle style, challenging students around the world to piece them together to form a complete picture. The FRAM-2 mission is named to honor the Norwegian-built ship Fram that carried researchers on polar explorations in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This amateur contact and all transmissions that were to follow engaged in another form of exploration. In anticipation of the decommissioning of the International Space Station by 2030, hams have been in search of other possible sources for radio contacts from space. To hear the QSO between the astronaut and the students in Berlin, see the link in the text version of this week's script at arnewsline.org. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
An amateur radio operator who gained a following in western Pennsylvania as a DJ and later the host of conservative talk radio has become a silent key. We hear more about him from Travis Lisk in 3ILS.
Jim Quinn, W3VEX, got his start on the professional side of radio at KQV-AM as a top 40 DJ, and later with the giant WTAE. In the years that followed, his broadcast career delivered roles as a morning DJ on other music stations during the rise of FM Top 40 radio. Moving later to WPGB-FM, Jim became a co-host of a conservative radio talk show. He was a well-known voice on the air, particularly among Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania listeners. Jim became a silent key on Sunday, March 30th. No cause of death was immediately given. In all, he had more than 4 decades in commercial radio, from Pennsylvania to Cleveland, to New York City and upstate Buffalo, New York. His amateur radio career lasted even longer, according to his page on QRZ.com. Jim was first licensed as a teenager while living in his native New Jersey. He was 82. This is Travis Lisk and 3ILS.
Hams in Arizona are grieving the loss of one of their own, a well-regarded member of the Mingus Mountain Repeater Group. We hear more about him from Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
It took very little time for Dan Crouch, KF7DC, to find a home with the Mingus Mountain Repeater Group in Arizona. Not long after he got his license in 2012, he found his way there and soon became part of the Mingus Mountain Roundtable. He served as a moderator of the Roundtable for many years. Dan became a silent key during the weekend of March 15th. He was a full-time minister for more than 50 years, serving for 20 years at the Fountain of Life Community Church in Prescott Valley. In announcing his death on Facebook, Patrick Brower, N7ATG, Vice President of the Mingus Mountain Repeater Group, recalled the prayers and strength Dan was able to provide for others, especially when members of the ham radio community or their families experienced a loss. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WA repeater in Doylestown, Ohio, on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. local time, right before the weekly SARA Net at 8 p.m. Each year, the Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award receives nominations of promising young hams who truly impress our judges. It is time, once again, to give them an opportunity at the recognition they deserve. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger here in the continental United States, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Do you know someone who might qualify to receive this year's honor? Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open. We are accepting nominations through May 31st. The Antarctic beacon VP8ADE has gone silent after 46 years. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, gives us those details.
There are no more signals from Victor Papa 8 Alpha Delta Echo on Adelaide Island, the ice-covered island off the Antarctic Peninsula's west coast. The last day on the air for the 28 MHz low-power research beacon was February 21. It was put into service in the summer of 1979 at the British Antarctic Survey Base of Rothera. Its tour of duty was originally supposed to have lasted only 3 years as one part of a research program, according to Lawrence Howell, KL7L, who was the base radio operator at the time. The beacon's collection of critical data on global ionospheric propagation of the F2 layer proved so invaluable that it continued operating for another 4 decades. The beacon shared a small wooden hut with a 1950-era aircraft navigation beacon and with research equipment used for ionospheric D-layer scintillation research used by students of ionospheric researcher Dr. Roy Piggott. VP8ADE was proposed by the Radio Society of Great Britain. It was coordinated with the British Antarctic Survey and with the Falkland Island Radio Regulator. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
There's a vacancy to be filled in the popular Islands on the Air program, and hams who are knowledgeable about IOTA are being encouraged to apply for the volunteer position. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us more.
The Islands on the Air award scheme is in need of an experienced amateur who can serve in the voluntary position of checkpoint for Brazil. A post filled since to have good English proficiency and possess the ability to process online applications. Interested applicants should send details of the skills they would bring to the task. Email Roger Ballister, G3KMA, at the address that appears in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Applications are due no later than the 21st of April. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The names included in the CQ Amateur Radio Hall of Fame represent the best of the best that ham radio has had to offer through the years. Originated by CQ Magazine, the Hall of Fame is now overseen by Ham Gallery, which selects amateurs with impressive personal operating records, as well as achievements that have enhanced the lives and experiences of their fellow amateur radio operators. Inductees may be living or silent keys, and they are chosen via nomination. The nominating window is drawing to a close. You have until the 15th of April to submit the names of your nominees to Tom Roscoe, K8CX, using email address k8cx@hamgallery.com. That's K8CX@hamgallery, that's one word, .com. Notifications will be sent out by the 30th of April as to whether the nomination was accepted or not. See the website hamgallery.com for more details. In the world of DX, Flavio IW2NEF is operating holiday style as 8Q7EF from the Maldives, IOTA number AS013, until the 10th of April. He's using digital modes and sideband on 40 through 6 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Koji JI1LET and Takashi JA1UII will be on the air as JD1BOI and JD1BON respectively from Chichijima, IOTA number AS031, and Ogasawara from the 8th through the 17th of April. They will be using CW sideband at FT8 and FT4 on 160 through 6 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The Amateur Radio Society of Moldova is using the call sign ER100 IARU to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the IARU and can be heard on the air through the 30th of April. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Jim, K6EI, and Scott, KK6IK, are on the air as FJ-K6EI and FJ-KK6IK from St. Bartholomew, IOTA number NA146, until the 12th of April. They will be using CW, FT8, and FT4 on 80 through 6 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Amateur Radio Newsline's own Ed Durant, DD5LP, will be active as 5B-VK2JI-P from Cyprus, IOTA number AS004, holiday style, between April 6th and 20th. He plans to activate HEMA, POTA, and SOTA sites with even the chance of a BOTA, that's beaches on the air, activation. Ed will be using 20 watts of power, sideband on 40 through 10 meters, but expects contacts into Europe, North America, and Oceania. Watch each of the scheme's spotting pages to see when Ed is on. If you work Ed, let him know that you're an AR Newsline listener. Community protests against unwanted towers are often in the news. In this week's final story, however, we visit a community in the state of Maine that has been very sorry indeed to say goodbye to one particular radio tower. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us why.
American science fiction writer Stephen King is author of, among many things, the Dark Tower series of books. Now, another tower that used to be his, an AM radio tower more than 400 feet tall, has gone dark. It was formerly used by WZON 620 AM in Maine, one of three of the region's radio stations that used to be owned by the writer. The tower had stood since 1937, when it was first used by WLBZ, the radio station's call sign in its earliest days. Citing the financial struggles of three area radio stations he owned in Maine, King announced last year they were going to end their run. WKIT, known for its classic rock format, still is on the air, having been saved at the last minute after being bought by a media partnership known as the Rock Lobster Radio Group. WZON AM and WZLO FM went silent on the 31st of December. However, recent local news reports say that both stations will return under new ownership. A company called Mixed Maine Media was buying them from King, along with an FM translator. WZO's tower, however, still had to go. Local residents' affection for this long-time familiar site drew them out to the scene of the demolition on Wednesday, March 26th. The prospect of the station's return, however, did cheer them. And so, when WZON played its final song last December before turning off its transmitter, its words rang true, but only for the tower. The song was REM's The End of the World as We Know It. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Have you sent in your amateur radio haiku to Newsline's Haiku Challenge yet? It's as easy as writing a QSL card. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org, and each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to ABC.AU News, Amateur News Daily, Associated Press, David B. RK7DB, Facebook 425DX Bulletin, Greg Mossop G0DUB, Inside Radio, Jack Ree, Huntacom, HS1FVL, Lawrence Howell KL7L, Patrick Bauer N78TG, QRZ.com, Radio Amateur Society of Thailand, Radio Inc., Radio World, Shortwave Radio DE, Space.com, Trib Live, WABI, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025. All rights reserved.
This is W8VPD, and this concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater.
W8ECT, this is W3X.
Go ahead, John. W8ECT here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the newsletter, and just now I see the workshop access log,
and I see that I put 703 on the wrong line. Yeah, the timeout. So yeah, I see that you have a circle around where I should have put it. So yeah, I'm on the second line down. Let's see, who's that? Dave. ADAD. I signed out on his line.
Okay, not a problem at all. I just, as I was looking through it and left, I noticed the line by yours was blank, and I think I wrote before 8 or something like that. But not a problem. We'll get used to it, and if I got too many lines on that page, I'll try to separate them. I just wanted to start getting some kind of logging in there. So, very good. Well, did you see that giant groundhog trench?
Yeah. So did they dig? So they didn't dig across the driveway then?
Apparently not. I'm guessing that maybe used to be where the line was, and they just decided to come straight out to the street. I didn't see them actually tapping the existing sewer line, but yeah, they just went right along the side of the building, straight out to the street under the sidewalk, and tied in. And it's been backfilled. Well, yeah, the picture shows it backfilled, so at least that aspect is taken care of. I think the city is also aware of some leaks in the pipes in the basement under the floor, and I don't know if they're going to try to chisel that up or fix it, but the train club has been keeping them busy.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's funny because you about that time that sign out thing, because you mentioned that I didn't sign out, and I said 703, and there I see you put it in the newsletter there. That's great. So thanks for taking care of that, and I'll be running the net here shortly. So W8ECT, this is W03X. I'll be clear for now.
Real good, John. Appreciate everything you do for the club, and of course, thanks for all your help this weekend also. I'll have a real quick summary at the front end of the net, and then let it go. All right, W8ECT, I'll be standing by for the net.
W8VPV repeater.
Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8VPV. Repeater.
This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with the 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until the activity slows down, and then I'll go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will close the net after repeating the announcements and then 1 last call for check-ins. We also operate a Band Explorer net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. This evening we will be on 6 meters on or about 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Okay, here are the announcements. The next meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday, that's April 9th, and in person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church. They're on, it has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going to their parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard, and then enter the building off the corner of the parking lot. And that meeting starts at 7:30. And also you can attend, you can be an active participant on Zoom. And go to our website, www.cfarc. Scroll down along the right side of the main page there, and you'll see the meeting and the link for the Zoom meeting. Also, we're asking, as a token of appreciation for their letting us use their facility for our meeting, to bring a food item. Now, the newsletter, which came out today, by the way, has a list of what they are requesting. So, canned soup, but not tomato soup. So, numerous other items there that they would appreciate. So take a look in the newsletter and see what they are requesting. Let's see here. So I think that's all that I have in the way of announcements. Are there any officers or members who have announcements of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
W8EZT, I'll check in and go ahead.
All right, thank you, John. Well, good evening, everybody, and to everybody who helped make our Hamfest a success this year, I want to offer a sincere and complete thank you. It was a fantastic job. We did well, and of course, we'll have a lot of details this Wednesday at our meeting. So if you want to know how we did and how things worked out, please come to the meeting Wednesday. Overall, I've heard nothing but positive responses, with maybe an exception for the audio, but we've known about that for some time. Also, this month, this meeting is the first opportunity to nominate officers for the 2025-2026 club year, so you want to be there for that. We also want to talk about Field Day. Field Day is coming up at the end of June, and really haven't done anything towards planning on that yet, so we want to get that underway. So it'll be an interesting and exciting meeting. We'll talk to you more about it then. There's some interesting information in the newsletter on that, so I hope you've got your newsletter copy. It did go out today. Other than that, that's all I've got. We'll hand it back to you, John. I'll be in here monitoring W8ECT back to net.
Okay, very good. Yeah, nominations start this month. So, very good. Thanks. Okay, are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT. Go ahead, Jim, and I'll check you in.
Thanks, John. I want to reiterate what Mike said, thanking everyone who helped. It wasn't as much help as I was in previous years due to my bum shoulder, but I certainly also appreciate everybody who helped. Break for time. Okay, I did want to point out we will have another event now that the Hamfest is over. We are going to have another POTA operation on May 30th, and there'll be more information on that at our Wednesday meeting where it will be discussed. And there will soon be a sign-in sheet on our website if you're able to participate in that. So watch for that on our website, and please do sign up because that tells us how much food and beverage we need for the number of people who are coming. Back to you, John, WA3JAT.
Okay, Jim, thanks for that. Yeah, I'll repeat that at the end of the net here about that POTA on May 30th. Okay, are there any other members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Go ahead, Vince.
Newsletter went out. Time for articles for next month. Speaking of which, you just announced a POTA activation for the club. Time to get an article in. I'm sorry who you are, but get an article in, please. You got time. May is a whole month away, minus a week.
Okay, very good, Vince. You hear that, people? Get your articles in and get that POTA event in there, too. Okay, very good. Thanks, Vince. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Okay, I'm not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. I'll take 5 at a time, and I'll acknowledge each call sign one at a time. Go ahead.
W8VPV, repeater PL110.9.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Delta Golf Delta, Bill in Macedonia.
What was the last 3 letters?
Kilo Delta, Golf, Delta.
Okay, I got you. I will get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Hotel Kilo, John and Kenmore, in and out.
Victor Hotel Kilo, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
8 KVI, in and out.
KE8 KVI, Ron, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in. And 73, have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
Kilo, Foxtrot 8, Alpha Victor Delta, Tony, Merriman Valley.
KF8 AVD, Tony, I have you in. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
K8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you on the list here. We'll get back with you in a couple minutes here, Steve. Okay, KF8DGD, go ahead.
Good evening to you, John. Just wanted to say I enjoyed the Ham Fest on Monday, and I purchased a new radio. Couldn't pass it up. It was a great deal, but I will see everybody at the meeting this Wednesday night. $73. Have a good evening.
Okay, Bill. Yeah, it was good seeing you there at the Arby's there after the Ham Fest there. My brother and I were on our way out to go geocaching. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see. Next, the next two were in and out. So that takes us to Tony, KF8 AVD. Go ahead, Tony, with your comments.
Just want to say I had a good time at Hamfest. Managed to pick up a mag mount dual band antenna so I can hook up my FT60 for my upcoming road trips down to Cincinnati. Hopefully be able to hit some repeaters down there. Still playing around with the Mesh-tastic stuff, which is kind of fun. And I just wanted to extend a welcome to any of the technicians that passed their test during the Hamfest and haven't received a call sign yet, but might be listening. Back to net.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Yeah, we had a pretty good session there. Almost everybody passed their test there. Just one did not, so that was a pretty good session. So thanks for mentioning that to the ones that passed. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. We're going to move on to Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Yeah, WAVPV in the net, K8HMS. You're on the full 40 side. Hope you got me okay. But yeah, just good evening to you, John. Good evening, everybody. And yeah, sorry I missed the Ham Fest, but haven't been feeling real well, so I just kind of stayed home and rested. But hopefully it all worked out well. It seems it usually always does. It's a great event. So other than that, not much happening. Just can't believe we're having snow. Hi. So back to you, and we'll look for you 9:30, but I don't know where you're going to be, K8HMS.
Okay, Steve, K8HMS, we're going to be on 6 meters on sideband 50.270 megahertz, upper sideband. So I'll be listening for you. And it sounds like your cold is better than it was last week, so seems like you're on the road to recovery there. Very good. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilowatt Bravo 8 Papa Radio Kilowatt KB8PRK 10 Springfield Township.
Go ahead, Ted. It seems like the activity's low here this evening, so go ahead, Ted. KB8PRK.
Hey, how you doing there, John, and everybody else out there? I just want to say I had a great time up there at the Hamfest Saturday. Good crowd, a lot of unique toys up there. I came away with one of them, and the layout was a little different than what I was used to, where the coffee was and where the seating was and stuff like that, but I understand the construction up there and all that. I think it's turning into one of the better Hamfests in the regional area. So you guys did a great job, and I appreciate it. Back to you there, John. KBPRK.
Thanks, Ted, for those comments there. Very good. They took out that food service area back there, and that construction over in the corner there, we had to use that opened up area there, part of it, for our volunteer exam session there. So it worked out pretty good there. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
John, this is Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, K8ULC, Curtin, Cuyahoga Falls.
KEA-ULC. Go ahead, Kurt, with your comments.
I'm just here studying for the extra class license that the club has been providing courses for every Sunday afternoon. So maybe in a few more weeks I can join that club. Back to you there, John.
Yeah, very good, Kurt. The last one is on Mother's Day. Let's see, you'll be skipping Easter. There won't be one on Easter Sunday. And then, let's see, there'll be one on the 27th. Okay, so there's still, let's see, so there's like 4 more to go, right?
W8VPV, repeater.
Yeah, that's right, John. 4 more to go. So I'm studying tonight for the next one is Hamtronics and Components. Back to you, John.
Okay, Kurt. Yeah, very good. Well, good luck with that. Back when I was studying for it, they didn't have these things like that, but you could get a book and study the book. So that's what I did back then. That was in the that was 1990. So very good. Keep studying there, and hopefully you'll have an easy time for the test. Okay. So let's see. Next, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Well, I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. It's pretty quiet on the net here this evening. this evening. Okay, so let's see here. The next meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday, that's April 9th, at 7:30 p.m., and you can attend in person at the Pilgrim United Church, which has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard in Cuyahoga Falls. But you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard, and then go into the building off the corner of the parking lot. And if you're going to attend, you can actively participate via Zoom. And so go to our website, www.cfarc.org, and scroll down along the right side there. You'll see the link for the meeting, and click on the Zoom link, and you can be an active participant. Again, that's this Wednesday, April 9th at 7:30 p.m. And if you're going to attend in person, bring a food item for the pantry there as a token of appreciation of their letting us use their facility for our meeting. In the newsletter, it has what they prefer, and one of the items that they don't want is tomato soup. I'm not sure why, but it's on there as not to bring tomato soup. So take a look at that if you have the opportunity. Otherwise, just bring a canned soup or something like that, but not tomato soup. Okay, let's see. Okay, then May 30th is a POTA event. May 30th is a POTA event, and there will be a sign up for that. So make sure that you sign up for that so that the people providing the food and beverages know how many to provide for. Again, that's on May 30th. Okay, this meeting will also be the first round of nominations for officers and one trustee position. So please try to attend either in person or on Zoom so that we can have nominees for the officers and trustee. Okay, that's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 11 check-ins counting myself, and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 8:55 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. W8VP
Then the fourth Monday, we're on 80 meters, on or about 3.827 megahertz. And we lucked out last time. I think we were on 3.828 megahertz. So it was a little clear spot that time. And then on a fifth, if there's a fifth Monday in a month, depending on the time of year, then in the winter time, we go on 160 meters, around 1887 kilohertz. And I think the newsletter says lower sideband, but lately we've been doing AM when we're doing 160 meters, just for the fun of it. It works out real nice. Let's see here. Let's see here. So, when checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I'll start with announcements, and then call for officers or members who have items of special interest to the club. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements. After that, I'll give one last call for check-ins and then close the net. Here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday. That's April 9th at 7:30 p.m. at the Pilgrim United Church in person or on Zoom. Okay, so if you're going to attend in person, the Pilgrim United Church has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, Cuyahoga Falls, but you get to the meeting by going to their parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and then enter the building at the entrance off the corner of the parking lot. Again, that starts at 7:30 p.m. And if you're going to attend in person, then please bring some food items. The newsletter has what they prefer, what they need in the way of food items. And so you can bring canned soup, but the only item they don't want is canned tomato soup. I'm not sure why, but that's what they have that they don't need. They don't want canned tomato soup. Let's see here. And then if you're going to attend as an active participant on Zoom, then go to our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and on the right side there, scroll down to the date, which in this case will be April 9th, and click on the link for Zoom, and you could be an active participant. Now we're going to have this is the first round of nominations for officers and one trustee position. So please try to attend as an active participant. Now on the VHF UHF net, it was announced that there's a Okay, for some reason the radio reset there. Okay, anyhow, that POTA event, the Northeast Ohio POTA event, is actually on May 31st. That's a Saturday. The reason I looked that up is because I saw that May 30th is a Friday, and I don't think we'd have many participants on a Friday, so it's actually on Saturday, May 31st. So on webpage there at www.cfarc.org. Look for the sign up for that photo event, so that the providers know how much food and beverage to provide. Way before that, on April 23rd, we will be having a gathering at the clubhouse, like we did in March there. And a fun time was had by all who attended. And it's not a formal meeting type of thing. It's more of a fun time. So take a look at that and watch the newsletter to see what, or not the newsletter, the website. Watch the website to see what activity doing that day. Again, that's the fourth Wednesday of April 23rd. So take a look at that and see, maybe we can all gather there and have a fun time with radioactive items. Okay, let's see. I think that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for any members or officers who have items of special interest to the club.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
W8 EZT, go ahead, Frank.
Good evening, John, everybody out there. Once again, I just want to say thanks to all the people that volunteered at our Hamfest last weekend, be it set up Friday or actually operating the event Saturday, doing the VE sessions, helping me put stuff back in my trailer at the very end. I just want to say thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without your help. The meeting coming up Wednesday, we'll have a summary of how the Hamfest went. Take some ideas from you if you were there. By all means, write down any thoughts or comments about it, how we can make it better next year. Of course, coming up, April is the beginning of our officer elections. They'll take effect July. We're going to be talking a little bit about field day, see what people want to do there. And we'll be talking about the clubhouse improvements that we may want to make. We want to put the ground system in this spring. We're probably going to put a camera at the door and a monitor up in the shack, so if somebody shows up, you don't have to walk all the way down to find out who it is, and possibly an electronic door strike so you can open the door for somebody from upstairs. Look forward to seeing everybody at the meeting Wednesday, and with that, I will hand it back to you, John. W8EZT, back to net.
Okay, Frank, very good. Sounds good. So thanks for that information, and I'll see you there on Wednesday. Okay, are there any other members or officers who have items of special interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. I'll just go one at a time on this net here. K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve.
Nothing much, that's going.
hope the roads aren't too bad for people going to work in the morning. It's getting kind of nasty out there. So anyway, back to you. Thanks again for running those nets, and hopefully, if I don't see you at the meeting Wednesday, I'll see you on the WAVTV KHMS.
Okay, Steve, very good. The traffic report this morning showed that there was a problem going 76 east, and then if you wanted to go Route 8 north, that new ramp that they put in there was frozen over. There was a flash freeze on it there, so traffic was moving very, very slow on it. So hopefully it won't do that again tomorrow morning. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and we'll be watching for you on Wednesday evening. Okay, let's see. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, good evening, John. WAVPV, KA8WTK. Not much, just riding the roller coaster of the weather. We drove down to, we had the granddaughter here in Virginia last week during her spring break, so not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we drove down to Virginia and spent the night in West Virginia, and then met her and her parents there down in Winchester. And then this last Saturday, we drove all the way down to Winchester and all the way back in one day. But we had a good visit with her, and she's 12 years old going on 20. It's quite amazing. Back to net, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Yeah, very good, Bill. Those kids get old quick. Let's see, our youngest grandson is he's 8 already, so he'll be 9 at the end of this year already. So, yeah, the time sure flies. Okay, very good, Bill. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8, Tango, Quebec, Romeo.
KE8TQR, go ahead, Keith.
W8VPV, this is KE8TQR. Good evening, John, and good evening, everyone else here on the net. I worked the Ham Fest. I was there both Friday and Saturday, and I have to say I had a really great time, so hope everyone else did. There was a lot of people there. The sellers all seem to be doing business, so I think it's another great year for the Cuyahoga Falls Ham Fest. At least that's my opinion. And didn't do much Sunday except recuperate from the Ham Fest. Hi. And today, today wasn't too bad. I did run over to DX Engineering, picked up a order I had there, and I stopped over to a friend's house and helped him unload a big toolbox that he just bought from Harbor Freight, and picked me up a little bit of dinner and watched a little TV, and then I'm down here in the shack on the radio with my friends. So that's about all I got. Wish everyone a great evening. Hopefully you have safe travels in the morning. Be careful out there in them highways and byways. And hope to hear you all again later. So I'll turn it back over to you, John. Fine job running the net tonight. This is KE8TQR saying 73, and God bless.
Okay, Keith. I saw that Harbor Freight was giving away one of those toolboxes, and it looked pretty massive there. So that sounds like what your friend got there. So could need a hand loading that thing in. So very good, 73, and have a good evening there, Keith. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Alpha Victor Delta, Tony, Merriman Valley. I'm in and out tonight.
Okay, Tony, you have a good signal here, so I heard you tuning up or doing something there, and it was real good, and it's real good now. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Uniform Charlie, KE8ULC, checking in and out.
Okay, Kirk, KE8ULC, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And you also have a really good signal here. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, the next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday. That's April 9th at 7:30 p.m. If you're going to attend in person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church, which has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard. But you get to the meeting by going to their parking lot, which is on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard, and then enter the building off the corner of the parking lot. Let's see, and that will be at 7:30 p.m. And if you're going to attend in person, they would appreciate a canned good food item or some other item as mentioned in the newsletter. And one of the items that they don't need is canned tomato soup. So I don't know if they have an overabundance of that or what the story is with that, but they don't want canned tomato soup, but other canned soups and ready-to-eat meats and things like that are just fine with them. You can see that in the newsletter. And so 7:30 is the starting time of our meeting, and if you can't be there in person, then you can also participate actively by Zoom. So go to our webpage, www.cfarc.org. Scroll down along the right side of the page there, and you will see the meeting and the link for Zoom. So just click on that, and you can be an active participant. And this will be our first round of officers and trustee nominations, so we would appreciate having as many as possible attend. Let's see here. So then at the clubhouse on April 23rd will be a gathering, and there's no particular item at this time, but we will be there's always something fun and interesting to do there at that clubhouse. So watch the website for the time and what we're going to do there on April 23rd. then it was mentioned during the VHF-UHF net about a POTA event, and it was announced that it would be on May 30th, but since then I looked on the calendar, and I saw that May 30th is a Friday, so I looked up that event, and it's actually May 31st, Saturday. And so sign up for that if you're interested, so that the providers can provide the proper amount of food and beverage for that event. That has been a fun event in the past there. It will be, I believe, the site that we're going to do is in the valley, but it works out well for the HF signals there. So it's in a pretty wide open area there. So take a look at that and see if you'd be interested in participating in that. Again, that's on May 31st. Let's see, so what else do we have here? I think that's all that we have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Anybody, anywhere. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be on 10 meters on or about 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcome and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:55 p.m. local time with 7 check-ins, counting myself. 7-3.
Good job, John. And again, thanks for everything you did for the handsets the other day. We'll catch you Wednesday. WAEZT.
Okay, Frank. I'll see you Wednesday. This is WO3X. Out clear.